with your hosts, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, Dingo TV, channel 217. Hopefully there are bananas everywhere in your bank account after putting down some wagers on sports last night. You had a lot to watch. ALCS game number 1, NLCS game number 2, Monday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jetropolitans, games 4s and 5s in the National Football League, NBA preseason, and the lot of sports. There's so much places we could go, but we start by telling you I'm Andrew Romanella. Like I said, it's the Rome Show, the social media, the Rome Show 1. That would be Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, all of the social media. Follow us there. And then, of course, if you miss any part of the show, Dingo TV 217 reruns the show at noon, or you can find the podcast wherever you get your podcast. It's a Tuesday. You know what that means. It means Rocky Romanella joins the show. Okay, I'm going to start in Major League Baseball today. But before I do, I just wanted to replay the new sounder on the show that really makes me laugh. And I just thought, the people should hear it too. When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. So today's poll question is going to be, when you play Mario Kart, what character do you drive? So who are you playing with when you do play Mario Kart, whether Battle or any of the 50cc to 200cc races? All right, who is your Mario Kart character? I will tell you mine at the end of the show. We will poll Rocky when he gets on the social media, YouTube. You can comment live. Who is your Mario Kart character? Who is pitching for the Los Angeles Dodgers was the question in game number 2 last night against the New York Metropolitans. We saw the Dodgers do this last week against drawing a blank, the San Diego Padres, and the bullpen day worked for them. They went into game number 4. It was a must-win situation. If they lost that game, they lost the series. The bullpen came through, and the Dodgers ended up winning the series. Well, it was not the same this week because Francisco Lindor led the game off with a solo homer. And then in the second inning, with the chance for the Mets to strike again, Mark Vientos did this. And the New York Metropolitans defeat the Dodgers 7-3. Sean Manaea, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 Ks. Got into some trouble in the 5th and the 6th inning. The Dodgers tried to mount a comeback. The Mets did not allow that to happen. Edwin Diaz, in typical Edwin Diaz fashion, had to give up a hit and a walk to get a 4-out save, but nonetheless got the 4-out save. The Mets even the series at 1 apiece. This series returns on Wednesday, 8:08 p.m. Walker Buehler on the hill versus Luis Severino. On the other side, the Atlantic League. Oh my God, that was atrocious. Wow. On the other side, the American League, the Yankees defeated the Cleveland Guardians. Not going to make that mistake again. On the backs of great days from Juan Soto and Giancarlo Stanton, both homered and collected a combined 3 RBIs. Here is the homer from Juan Soto. And his ownage continued. The Yankees continued to score runs, 3 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 7th. And here is Giancarlo Stanton adding on to that lead with a monster shot of his own. Absolute stud missile at 114 miles per hour. Yes, I said that correctly, 100. 114 miles per hour. The New York Yankees take a 5-2 lead into the ninth, and Luke Weaver closes it into the eighth, and Luke Weaver closes it with a 5-out save. This series returns tonight, 7:38 p.m. with Tyler Beebe on the hill versus Garrett Cole. Really good pitching matchup in that one. Let's finish because I see Rocky's getting ready to get on the air here. So we have a minute or two before we bring him on. So we're going to finish in the National Football League. You were probably thinking to yourself before the season started, I bet the Jets and the Bills are going to face off in a Monday Night Football showdown where both teams are coming off of losses, and it's going to be for the AFC East. If the Jets win, the first place team's at 3-3, and if the Bills win, the first place team's at 4-2. That's definitely what you were thinking, right? Probably not. Well, anyways, you got the game last night, and it actually ended up not being bad. And then Aaron Rodgers and Mike Williams, a big problem all year. The receiver's not on the same page as Aaron Rodgers. Mike Williams falls down, and the Buffalo Bills secure the victory.
Last play before the 2-minute warning. Rodgers buys time, airs it out. Mike Williams fell down, and it is...
Yeah, he did. Looked like he was sliding to second.
And Taron Johnson, what a play. They welcome him back.
What a play there by Taron Johnson, and he secures the victory for the Buffalo Bills. I'll tell you what, that was the best game Aaron Rodgers has played in a Jetropolitans uniform. He threw for 294 yards, 2 TDs, 23 of 35. Both the Jets and the Bills brought the running game. Breece Hall won 18 carries on the ground, but the Bills most impressive because their starting running back was ruled out about 6 hours before this game, so Ray Davis and Ty Johnson combined for over 140 yards together. Bills 4-2, Jets 2-4. No matter what, you change the coach, you change the offensive coordinator, it does not change the winning for the New York Jetropolitans. What changes this show, though, is the fact that we have a segment called Hockey with Rocky, and just so the people are aware, it is time for that segment. Play the music. Now, inside the glass, Hockey with Rocky.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Hockey with Luigi. If we're driving on the Mario Kart circles this morning.
Luigi, what's going on, man? How we doing today?
I got a couple of red shells swarming, and I'm going to throw them, and I'm going to knock some people out this morning. That's how we're feeling.
Can I first get the reasoning why you drive with Luigi, and then you can get into your stuff? By the way, beautiful uniform.
It's a Mets hockey jersey. I mean, I don't know if you can go any better. Thank you for hooking that up, by the way. No, you got to drive with Luigi because you know me. I'm like very much like I can't get into too many crazy things, and everyone loves Yoshi. Every now and then you'll throw a Wario in there just because I think his name is funny because it's Mario with a W and he's like a weird dude. And he has like, it's Wario. So Luigi is a great alternative because he's not actually Mario, but he is one of the main characters and he's green, and green I feel like is fast. So everyone likes Yoshi because he's green. Like I'm not going to drive with the princess. I'm not going to drive with Toad. The head's too big, and Bowser, I just feel like he's too big, like he drives too slow. So Luigi is where I land.
If you're wondering how we got here, the question of the day here on the Rome Show is, what Mario Kart character are you driving with? Rocky says Luigi. I'll give you my answer at the end of the show. Elite Breakdown, you can give us your answer. The Rome Show 1 Instagram, X, TikTok, Facebook, all the social medias. Comment live on YouTube. Okay, Rocky, you're here for hockey. Okay. So, but I know you got opinions on a lot of things. So I like to give you choice here. A la carte sports menu. Where would you like to start?
I'll just touch. I mean, no panic in the New York Mets. Gotta love it. Zero panic. Should have never started Cody Senga. But at the same time, like, not a terrible rope-a-dope when you're on the road. You split and you go back home for 3. Like, at the very worst, you leave 3-2. Like, you're in a good spot coming back to LA. So, I'll just say that.
I love that point. And by the way, I just took the question off the thing, and it says after one loss, the Jets fired Jeff Ulrich. That is hilarious.
Did you know that? Wait, so that's my next point. Did you know that if the Jets won last night, they would have been in first place?
Yeah, that's what I was stating prior to bringing you on the show. Was there's not one person that thought that if the Jets won last night and the Bills and the Jets were 3-3, someone would be leading the AFC East. No one had that on their bingo card.
No, it's fascinating. So that's the second thing I'll bring up, and then the third is like the baseball is great. Like I had to talk about the Mets. I got to make this Jets joke, but at the end of the day, like the ALCS, the hype, I feel like baseball is having a really nice postseason right now, which is exciting for all of us.
I couldn't agree more. I think that finally you're starting to see the adjustments baseball has made to the game over the last 5 years.
The modern game is really coming into its own.
Play out. So I couldn't agree with that more. And besides, just take the Mets fanship out of it for a quick second. You have 3 of the 4 or 5 biggest markets in the game right now. That's another huge aspect for baseball.
And here's that's great. And here's what I love too. What I've seen is in game 1, just consistently the Dodgers bunted over their runner from first base to second base and batted them in on a single. And I was like, I can't even be mad because it's like great baseball. And then like even yesterday, to add like another run, the 7th run is Pete Alonso sprinting from second base on a really like a single up the middle, which is not necessarily a run scoring hit. And he has a side dive where his fingertips touch the edge of the bag in a play at the plate that was like just brilliant. And I just think like the actual play of the game has just been great. The pitching's been awesome, not much controversy, just good, pure, hard baseball. And I love watching it.
I saw a wild stat. Then we'll get to the Hockey with Rocky segment of the Hockey with Rocky show. I saw a wild stat the other day, like during the regular season, the Major League Baseball umpires missed roughly 21,000 calls. Okay. Ball strike calls, that is. Ball strike calls. And that was the best year that Major League Baseball umpires have ever had in the history of the game. So I'm wondering, Rocky, and this really could be true. Take out the large number, because if you really think about it, almost 400 pitches are thrown a night. So it's not that hard to get to 21,000 pitches. But my point is, with the game being quicker, with the pitcher throwing more pitches faster, is that making the umpires better? Because you don't have to stand and wait as long. There's not as much you got to stay locked, because if this dude is throwing 95 to 98 every 12 to 14 seconds, you don't have much time to not focus. And I'm wondering if that is actually an aspect of umpires getting better.
I think that's an aspect. I think the other thing too is your pretty much your livelihood is on the line, right? Because in they have challenges in the minor leagues, right? With the computer striking balls, right? So your job is on the line. So you don't have time to have a bias against a pitcher or a team to kind of bury them at the plate, right? If you have a tendency that you're going to call a low ball, you need to call a low ball the whole game. And like, I feel like I've seen more of that than I have inconsistency, where like, hey, if they're calling if they're calling like a borderline ball, but they're calling it a strike and they're calling it on both sides, I feel like I've seen more of that than I've really seen, in a long time, I feel like.
I definitely agree with that. All right. I have a few different things written down in the hockey section, but we like to let you lead this drive. So feel free to get your Hockey with Rocky on.
So fanship wise, watched the first episode of Face Off, which is the Inside the NHL. And that's, following the stars of last year through, the end of the season. Episode 1 was with William Nylander of the Toronto Maple Leafs and David Pastrnak of the Boston Bruins, who I did not know are really, really good friends from growing up and playing together in Sweden. Obviously, William Nylander's father, Michael Nylander, former NHLer, and Pasta grew up in the Czech Republic and then went to Sweden to play, and that's where they met. But great showed them in their best of 7 series in round 1. And now the next episode is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators and Jack Eichel of the Vegas Golden Knights. So I'm excited to get into it. But hockey fan who want to see some behind the scenes stuff, learn about the players, check it out on Amazon Prime.
I feel like much like the NASCAR documentary, that's probably a good one for like the not so hockey fan so that they can honestly get an idea of what it looks like from a in-depth standpoint.
Well, yes, and William Nylander is a polarizing character, especially in Toronto. Toronto is like the New York Yankees market of hockey, where regardless of the show, like the Maple Leafs are getting brought up. You know, they're always going to be talked about. So you got to see, and Nylander signed the largest contract, you know, in history, a year ago. So, you know, he's got a lot of pressure on him. He talks about how, like, you know, growing up, his dad played for 6 NHL teams. So Toronto's really like been the only place he's ever been, you know, for the longest period of his career. Kind of grew up there, became a man there is what he says. So an interesting look at the dynamic of like the city versus the player versus wanting to win. You know, he talks about how, you know, he wants to win as much as the city, compares it to his best comparison is like a European football team, actually, you know, in the Premier League, you know, the way the community is so invested in the team. So great look if you want a little behind the scenes look at hockey players.
Awesome. What else you got?
I've got I gotta give you some love. You know, obviously the Devils have played 1 or 2 more games than everyone else, but at 4-1, 8 points, they shut out the red hot Utah Hockey Club last night. You got to be pumped, right?
Yeah, I'm pumped. And also, I was actually looking at this today. My favorite part about where the Devils are at right now is the 3 dudes that are leading the team in scoring are all what I'm calling imports for the team. All guys that we've brought over in free agency or have not necessarily been a Devils draft pick. And I feel like as much as organizations want to say, all right, sweet, we drafted Nico and we drafted Jack and all this other stuff, you can't just have an entire team that's made up of draft picks or players you've gotten through the draft. So to see guys like Cotter lead the team in points, in goals scored, and not be a New Jersey Devil draft pick, you look at the dudes leading in points, goals, assists. That's all guys they brought in. So, Rock, that's why I think I'm the most excited about the start, is because it's what they did to add to the team that's got them at 4-1.
Yeah, they pieced together a team. They filled the holes that they needed to fill with good offseason signings. And I guess to your point, like, you know, look no further than the Detroit Tigers. You know, you can only get so far. It has to be a combination of homegrown talent and acquisition. Like, it's just the only way. It's modern day sports. Like, if you can't go, you know, win through free agency or win through trades in the offseason, like, it's really hard to kind of piece together your team, you know, with the depth that you need. So I like that call out from the Devils.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The other thing in the National Hockey League that I enjoyed learning about was, even though he's now on the IL, Maxim Celebrini.
Macklin, yeah, I know. Macklin. That's tough. That's tough for the Sharks, and it's tough for the NHL.
But I have 2 trivia questions for you, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Maxim, is it, or Maxim? Maxon?
Max
Selly, okay? Max Selly of the San Jose Sharks was the second fastest person at 7 minutes and 1 second to score his first NHL goal. Who was the fastest?
The fastest to score his first NHL goal?
Yes. It was 2 minutes and 59 seconds into their first game. Do you know the answer to this?
Do I know the answer? Do I get one hint, or do I have to just guess off the cuff and then I get a hint?
If you want a hint, I'll give you a hint.
Is it within my lifetime?
It's within your lifetime.
I'm just going to have to go Ovechkin then.
That is incorrect. Would you like one more shot?
European, American, or Canadian?
He is European.
He's European. Philip Forsberg.
Not. That is incorrect. The answer is Mario Lemieux. He is in your lifetime.
That's just terrible on me.
And then that was
what an easy answer.
2 minutes and 59 seconds into his first game. Would you like the next one?
Yeah, bring it on.
I like this next one though because you really love this person. Okay. Now, 2 minutes and 59 seconds, which was the same amount of time it took Mario Lemieux to score his first goal, was the amount of time it took from Max Selly to go from his first point to his second point in the NHL. Okay. That then made him the fastest, the youngest to record 2 points in 10 minutes or less. Who is the person that held the record for the fastest to 2 points or youngest in the National Hockey League?
And you tell me I love this person?
When I say this person's name, you're going to be like, oh my God. They are a hockey lifer, played for the same organization for their entire career. Think western side of the country.
Western side of the country. Oh, Ryan Getzlaff.
No, but I love that guess. I'll give you the second hint is his organization exists, but not as the same team name.
Okay. Oh, Shane Doan.
Yeah. Let's go. Yo, that was sick. I don't even know where my sounder is. Yeah. Shane Doan. There you go. Those are your two Max Selly trivia questions today for you.
Nice. Shane Doan was cool. We had a hockey tournament in Arizona as growing up, and Shane Doan was one of the guys that like signed autographs for us at the practice facility. So always remember that. And he is, just to be the captain and to live and breathe and play in one organization like the Arizona Coyotes is just super impressive. So, and speaking, we're going to stay in the Western Conference because the third thing and final thing I had for you is the leader in goals in the short beginning stint of the NHL season is not Sidney Crosby. It's not Connor McDavid. It's not Artemi Panarin. It is Dylan Guenther of the Utah Hockey Club with 5 goals in 4 games. Dylan Guenther is an Edmonton, Alberta native. He's 21 years old. He was drafted by Arizona 9th overall in 2021. During the 2022 season, the Coyotes, in a special moment in their video room, had his parents, video in because they were telling him that, hey, we're not going to send you back to juniors. You're going to get to play in the NHL for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Over the course of the 2022, 23, and 23, 24 seasons, he played a total of 78 games, where in the first 33 games, he scored 6 goals for 15 points. Last year, 45 games, 18 for 35. And it looks like to be maybe a breakout early, maybe new star that we're going to see this year out of the Utah Hockey Club. And I wanted to highlight Dylan Guenther this morning.
Unlikely hockey name for Dylan, but still clearly showing the kid can skate.
And a great game. They put together a great game. Their captain, Clayton Keller, played awesome. Goaltender played great. I think his last name Lion. But it was a great game versus the Rangers on Friday night, where they Utah HC actually won or Saturday night won in a shootout. But it was a high-flying 5-5 affair that we love to see.
So do you tell people you were drafted by the Arizona Coyotes, or do you tell people you were drafted by the Utah Hockey Club? Like,
no, you absolutely the Coyotes. That's a great piece of hockey history that I'm a part of right there. I would never not deny that.
Yeah. Nah, and to go back to the Shane Doan thing, dude, he should go to the Hall of Fame for that. Like, playing for the Coyotes for your entire career, you should go to the Hall of Fame.
Shane Doan. I could see Shane Doan being inducted into like the American Hockey Hall of Fame, the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame,
something like that, right?
For sure. Yeah.
All right, Rock. Before we let you get out of here, the Yankees play Game 2 against the Guardians tonight. What do you got? Any hockey games to watch? Give us some predictions or thoughts for sports this evening.
I think the Guardians, storm back. Who's pitching for the Yankees?
So for the Yankees, they have Garrett Cole tonight, and for the Guardians, they have Tyler Bebe.
So, my amateur sports, my water cooler sports would say, hey, Garrett Cole's on the mound. I got the Yankees winning Game 2 and headed into Cleveland for 3 to either go big or see what happens. But because I think Garrett Cole's going to throw well and the Yankees will win, like if I'm a bettor, I would take the Guardians. And that's actually my closing thought today. By the way, I'm picking teams. NASCAR's in its round of final 8 drivers left, so 8 races left. So if you're interested in that, Carl Larson had a big win last week, and they go into the final round of 8. Going into the weekend, I'm in my last man standing. There's 14,000 people in this last man standing. It's a big one. And because the NFL season is a mess, there are only 151 people left. I'm one of them.
That's wild.
I'm torn going into last week. I want to pick the Packers because I really think Jordan Love is actually pretty good. And they're playing Arizona. But, the Packers really hadn't proven it. And the Eagles were playing the Browns. And, for whatever reason, I really want to win this pool. I've never been in it like this tight before. So I choose the Eagles. And subsequently, I get into the weekend. Saturday night, the Rangers lose in overtime. And then Sunday night, both the Mets and the Giants fail to figure out how to score points. And I just felt like it was the sports universe telling me, hey, the Eagles won today. You got your pool, but you went with your arch nemesis and rival of all time. There's no chance your teams are winning this weekend.
Correct. That was the sports gods lightning down on you. We get why you want the Bills, dude, but you went against your grain, and you can't have it. We can't have it.
Can't have it. So, all of you fantasy owners, beware of selecting players from your arch rival teams.
That is why being a fan, being a fantasy owner, and being a pick'em pool guy is very tough in the National Football League season. Rocky, thank you so much. What an elite show. Reminder, Rocky's Mario Kart character is Luigi, and as he shows on the screen, LGM, last words, sir.
I tell you what, if I'm a coach who's close to first place, I'm on the hot seat right now. Look out.
I agree with that.
Thanks for having me, Rome Show.
Rocky Romanella, Luigi, whatever he calls himself, out.
See you later.
Thank you for being here, sir. All right, and now we just finished the show, as we always do, with some daily bananas. All right. So, went 2-1 last night. 114-91 record overall. The 3 picks we had were the Bills at the -1. They won by 3. Josh Allen, anytime touchdown scorer. He ran one in from 1 yard away. And we had the under 40.5. It finished at 43, just over. So we went 2-1. Tonight we are going to go to Major League Baseball. I'm going to record. I'm not recording any hits. Don't you worry about that. I am going to do 2 different things, okay? I'm going to take B-Bay at 5+ Ks. I'm going to take the Yankees on the money line. I believe, even though Rocky thinks when you pick a team, pick against them, I feel really good about this Yankees team, and I think that when you have Aaron Judge hitting 133 in the postseason, Giancarlo Stanton and Juan Soto are swinging it the way they're swinging it, you're getting really good pitching, especially out of your bullpen, and you're playing lights-out defense. That's really hard to beat, and even though the Guardians are good, I don't think they're that good. I do think Bebe can keep the neutralization of the Yankees. That's why I'm going to give me the 5+ Ks there. And then I'm going to ride the Giancarlo Stanton train. Give me Giancarlo with a hit. Writing this down for myself because sometimes I forget to write it down before the show, even though I look at it. So Stanton with a hit, B-Bay with 5+ Ks, and the Yankees on the money line for Andrew tonight in baseball. That's the Rome Show, 12ouncesports.com, Dingo TV, channel 217. If you missed the show, just watch it on the rerun at noon or the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Hey, have an electric day. Andrew Romanella saying peace.
Thank you for listening.